My name is Quinten Epting, and this is my capstone project, Risk Radar. As you go through the presentation, the first couple slides are going to be focused on the about section, about me, about the project, why is it important, and some of my experiences going through the Agile process. Uh, you'll see on the screen, this is one of the infographics I created for the website to assist small businesses in creating a cybersecurity plan. Uh, Going through the timeline, kind of how the Agile methodology lined up, or how I utilized the Agile methodology in creating the Capstone project. I'm going to do some light code review, some of the stuff that I found really interesting or kind of had a difficulty in overcoming. Then we'll do a walkthrough of the application, and then we'll kind of circle back and decide, or I guess figure out, kind of what are the next steps for Risk Radar. What's next 6 months like going forward. A little bit about me. I'm a problem solver. I love hard problems and understanding how the intricacies of those problems impact other areas. Uh, I initially started out before Savvy Coders doing some Python development and creating custom tooling and things of that nature. I knew there was a better way, or at least a different way, um, for some of the stuff I was doing, and that led me into the full stack uh, interest. I found Savvy Coders and kind of really fell for the curriculum, and I've really enjoyed my experience, and getting the IC Agile certification helped out. Getting the deeper understanding of HTML, CSS, JavaScript, building out an API and how to connect the API. It was it helped understand more of the big picture in web development. What is Risk Radar? I connected the third-party API Full Hunt to the application to take a domain and search it. The target audience is going to be just a non-technical small business owner, to give them a start in understanding their landscape and how to protect it. Um, it kind of morphed throughout the planning and implementation phase into more education based, and so I built out uh, some documentation and some infographics to kind of assist in understanding what you're looking at, and also have created a news alert kind of feature. It scrapes the CISA XML RSS feeds and gives the latest and greatest on the alerts within the application. Why? Why is this important? Cybersecurity is a huge market. There seems to always be a new breach, a new attack. Uh, Attackers are constantly evolving, and it's really important for small business owners, or really, I guess, all business owners, to kind of stay at the forefront and kind of understand what it is they're dealing with. Um, the best way to prevent an attack is to be a hard target, and that's kind of true in different walks of life. And so I'm hoping that with Risk Radar, it will eventually help small businesses have a leg up in the fight. This is my initial story map from week one. You don't know what you don't know. And so it definitely changed a lot from what you see here, but it was a good starting point. And my first experience with actually mapping and planning out an application, and it made the development phases so much more smooth, having something to start from. And so, like a lot of the amazing habits that I picked up over my time with Savvy Coders, this was definitely one that I'm very much appreciative of. SWOT analysis. So the strength to to my application is that it's a low barrier entry. Any business can pick it up and search their domain and get an idea of what they have exposed. Um, but on the flip side of that, because it has such a low barrier to entry, it's also got a huge opportunity to kind of grow. Like the small business market um, is pretty huge, and so having a low cost option out there that they can utilize to understand where they're at in their environment is, I think, going to be the biggest opportunity, which I guess it complements the strength, but also could cause it to, you know, kind of grow faster than I'm able to keep up with it. So the main audience when I was developing it is for the non-technical, specific to the non-technical small business owner. Um, but in reality, any individual that has the need or desire or want to know a domain's landscape, this is a great tool to kind of to get that initial enumeration done. Data flow. I really enjoy data. Really enjoy working with data, and so kind of where it comes from and where it goes was definitely something I was looking forward to with the project. This was week one level of my data flow diagram, and so it did change some over the course of the 12 weeks. The one thing that did not change is I'm not saving anyone's search history. So if a small business comes in, searches their domain, it goes out to the API or Full Hunt's API and gets returned. I'm not saving that. Um, I'm not saving that data. And this area where it's showing the searches being saved to MongoDB, this is not accurate either. I just wanted to show this is like the growth of the project. So the timeline, embracing the agile methodology, and those daily stand-ups, especially as a product owner, uh, really helped me understand the flow of things. And so seeing where everyone was and what what our blockers were and how to overcome those blockers was extremely important. Going through the planning phase and the development phase and the implementation phase, and then testing with Insomnia, those API endpoints, and ensuring that, the front end could talk to the back end was an amazingly rewarding experience. So for the front end, one of the things I really had a fun creating was this report template. This report template basically, once the data comes back from Full Hunt, it's parsed down and creates a report for the individual who searched for it to export it as a CSV. That way they could take that CSV and do with it as they see fit to ensure that they are tracking their assets. One of the areas of the code that kind of had issues with was trying to figure out how to work around renders limitations. So with the free plane on render, after 15 minutes, the server shuts down and reboots whenever the app spins back up. And so I had to figure out a way to gather those news alerts as close to real time as possible. Initially, I set up on a cron job where it runs at midnight, but after deciding that that server isn't going to be active at midnight, I had to come up with a different way. And so I created this and parsing in the fetch and process articles function to on startup. So whenever the server boots up, it searches the CISA XML RSS feed for any new alerts. And if it's not saved already in the database, it scrapes it and saves it. So now we're going to go through a walkthrough of the website. Okay. So here's the home page. This is going to be the entry point for the site. And I wanted to show both the mobile view as well as the desktop view. The main change is going to be uh, on the navigation bar. And I'll show in the mobile side, and then we'll go back to the desktop version. The where your vulnerability is actually linked to the search page, kind of like a little hidden Easter egg. So we'll start with a know your risk. Uh, I wanted this to be a natural flow. That way, anyone coming into the website would be able to kind of go through it as they need to. Um, and this is just some training I kind of put together to help individuals understand kind of what they're looking at. Because if you get just a list of IPs, it's kind of hard to really make the numbers make sense, I guess. Here's one of the infographics. Understanding your digital asset management, and then some 5 steps to better cybersecurity. And I also wanted to ensure that anyone going through the website would also know where they could reach for some more free cybersecurity resources. NIST, SBA, great, just great all-around resources for education purposes. The about sections, kind of a rehash as from earlier, but also have the future steps within this part of the page. The contact form, I kind of just want to make sure that anyone has access to get in touch with me. Give me any feedback, anything they want to see added. Uh, and the contact form is set up through Formspree. Okay, and then we'll go to see that the latest one that was published was January 22nd. And the way that these are set up, I have the link embedded within the title. And so as you click it, you can go to the exterior page or the exterior link to read what CISA has in regards to that alert. So then the bread and butter, the search feature. The domain analysis report, it comes back and you have your host URL, your host information, and it has it broken down within each per host. So you have this host, this IP, this cloud provider, and breaks it down and includes your tags. And so whenever you're ready or whenever you're going through your report, you're like, okay, well, this is good. I want to save this. Hit the export to CSV, and you'll see it pop up as CSV details. So on render, we deployed our API. This is how my API saves the data as from ID, title, and link. As you remember a little bit earlier, I actually have the link embedded within the title and the code, and I'll show that here in a second. In MongoDB, it shows it. I just want to show it in both places to show the coordination between them. Let me pull the code up, and we'll kind of walk through a little bit of the code. So, let's see. This is what this code is showing here is how it's returned the API call, and having it sort by date. I wanted the most recent first. It doesn't really do any good to know the alerts that happened a year ago, unless you haven't looked at them. And then also want to make sure that anything that has a null value gets filtered out, primarily because I want to make sure that the end user is getting the best data that they can go off of, because the best information makes the best intelligence. Let's see. And another interesting, or I guess, something I had to implement within the server on the server side. I didn't want my full hunt API key to be exposed by utilizing on the front end. And so I created a proxy on the back end to be able to search it. That way my API key is more secure. And so that was a fun little project that kind of I wasn't necessarily expecting when I got into it until I started digging into the network aspect on the dev tools and found out that the API key was exposed. So let's see. So next steps for Risk Radar. Actually, would be interested in launching a blog within the website to kind of break down the alerts as they come through, maybe what to look for, how to enter into to mitigate some of those risks that are associated with those alerts, as well as I would like to integrate some additional features, perhaps utilizing OpenAI API to integrate some kind of data modeling or some cross-reference between the alerts and the return searches. That way, if there's any alerts that coincide with the search results, it shows those alerts specifically. That way, you don't have to parse through the alerts on the CISA site. But definitely some fun things to be had with Risk Radar. I appreciate you taking the time to listen to my presentation. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to go to Risk Radar and fill out the form. Thank you.